Hello and welcome to the main support video for the software. I'm going to go over how to set it up, use it, and a little bit of troubleshooting as well. Um, when you first open up the software, you should go to the Manage Accounts tab right there, upper left, and then select which account you want to set up, either LinkedIn or YouTube. Enter in the email associated with that account and then the password. Note that the password needs to be at least 8 characters long. If your password is not at least 8 characters long, you need to change it so that it is. That's definitely to your advantage to do so. It's much more secure if you have a password that's at least 8 secure characters in this day and age. Just disregard this proxy. Just forget about it. That's mostly for people that are outside of the country. Once you have that information in, click on Save, and you will notice that the different information will come up here, LinkedIn, YouTube, and then you can edit or delete as needed. After that, you're going to go up to Update Settings. We have a menu and Update Settings tab. You're going to select Update Groups, okay? And here, if you have any groups in the account that you've entered, you want to come here, you want to select the appropriate account, all right? And then you want to select Update Groups. And give it a minute, it will log in, and it will put in whatever groups you have in that account. You want to do that first before you move on. We talk about this in the setup guide itself, and so that's the important thing to do next. After that, what you want to do is you want to update your contacts, also known as your connections. Technically, contacts and connections are two different things. Connections are people that you've connected to in LinkedIn. Contacts are people that you've connected to, and also people that you may have had in your address book when you set up your LinkedIn account, and people that are in that address book that never actually connected with you, but they're still your contacts. So you're almost always going to have more contacts than connections, okay? A little bit confusing, but that's just how LinkedIn is in that regard. That's their definition. So here you'll notice that I have like 979 contacts in this one account. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you're on the correct account, and then you want to go to Settings over here. All right, and in Settings, you want to make sure that you've got max updates in a 1 hour run set to 200. It should default to that. And max update in a day, 1,000. Now, if you have more than 1,000 connections in your LinkedIn account, you're going to have to let it run longer than a day. If you got 2,000, you're going to have to let it run a little bit over 2 days, and so forth. And the first thing you do is you come here to Auto Update. You click that and you click Yes, and you let it run for as long as it needs to run, all right? And if you run for a day or 2 days or whatever, then you may at the end of that time need to close the software. You would come back to Auto Update and click on it and select No to stop it. You may need to close and then reopen the software before you see all of this inside here. Okay, once you have your groups updated and your contacts updated, then you can begin to use the software and not before. It's absolutely mandatory. When you go in for instance, into the invitation messages group selection, which is one of the main features of the software, and if you go in there, you're going to see the various groups. Here it is. You're going to see the various groups in here populated, but you will have to have pulled them in from the update groups. All right. If you use the send invitation genealogy, for instance, then you have to have your contacts in there first in order to be able to access the send invitation genealogy. All right. So let's say you've done that and you're in here and you want to send messages, okay? You have send invitations and send message, all right? Send message means that you'll have a subject line and a message that you can then send to any of these groups. The max per account per day is 100. You cannot send more than 100 messages per day. Don't need a keyword. I usually don't use one. I select all my cities. I select bypass first connection, so that means that none of the people that I know are going to get the message. And then you'll put in your message here. And you just put in something like, hello, and then our placeholder, which is %% first name, %%. That'll put in the person's name. And then, you can put in anything you want here as far as marketing information, links, anything else. This is text. It's not HTML. So don't be concerned about any of that. If you have a link to a video, you can put in a link to a video, link to a website, you can put in a link to a website. You do need the HTTP : / before it, though, so that it shows up. And then in here, you'd have a subject line. All right. Now, you can put in this, hello first name in the subject line as well. All right. And you can, again, just put in anything you want, something that's catchy, that's going to make them curious enough to open up the email, of course, is what you're aiming for. Down here you'll see clear cache from history. You don't want to clear that cache unless you're really starting a whole new type of marketing campaign. The software remembers who it is sent to, and that's what the cache is. So if you clear it, if you select that and then hit send and clear that cache, then it will start back over, and all of those user IDs that you had sent to will no longer be remembered by the software. Something very important here, if you have your different accounts and groups, and you have, let's say, you want to send 100 messages to the eMarketing Association today, you would select one group, set it to 100, come in here, send message, bypass first connection, and assuming you have all this filled out, you would hit send invitation messages, and it will begin counting up here. If you want to send, say, remember you can only do a total of 100. If you want to say send something to two different groups, then you would select two different groups and you would set this to 50. So you have 50 for each group. Do not set this to 100 and then select several groups, because you'll then send out several hundred messages and you may get your account restricted for a day or two. Probably won't get it shut down, but it'll probably become restricted. So you don't want to do that. So be very mindful of that. So then another thing that we need to talk about very specifically here in this invitation messages group area is invitations. If you click on invitations, instead of sending a message, the subject line goes away, and you're no longer sending a message. All right, you're sending an invitation for that individual, whoever it is in this group here, to join your personal network, kind of like your friends on Facebook. And that's how you're building your list here as well. You want to invite them, and you know what type of person they are because of the type of group that they're in. You want to invite them to join you personally from that group into your personal network. If they accept your invitation, then they will become part of your personal network. And a little bit more will occur that we'll go into in a second. Very, very important here. You have to select invitations. Make sure that subject line is gone. Select the group that you want to target and do no more than 50 per day per account. All right, not per group, but per account. 100 messages per day, 50 invitations per day. Over here, you cannot use more than 220 characters in this message. And this is also true in send invitation genealogy. So if you put in hello first name, we are in the same LinkedIn group and know some of the same people. That is fine right there. All right. You cannot put any marketing information in. You should not put in any salutation like "thank you, this is my your name," or "look forward to working with you," Jane Doe or whatever. you don't want to do any of that. You just want to put in a simple hello F name, which is going to personalize the invitation, and then put in something very basic like this. We're in the same LinkedIn group, know some of the same people. You could also put in, I'd like to connect with you. But you do not want to go over 220 characters, no salutations, no signature, no anything, no links, or else it will not send. And you'll be wondering why, and that will be why. So, again, this is a good thing to do because you're building your list, but, you just need to make sure that you're very careful about this message. I've gotten lots of support information, or questions, and provided a lot of support information about this, and it usually has to do with the 220 character limit or putting your name in there. You just don't want to do that. Anyway, this is one of the main parts. You send out messages or send out invitations into the groups. Another major function of the software is to do what's called the send invitation genealogy. And here we can send a little bit more. We can send up to 300 a day. You would choose the account that you want, or you could choose multiple accounts if you have multiple accounts. You choose the country. I always stick to the United States. Usually you don't need to put a keyword in here unless you really want to. It will take you a lot longer if you put a keyword in. And then you put in approximately the same invitation message. You don't want to say we're in the same LinkedIn group, of course, because this is not about groups. All right. So, you'd say something like, I'd like to connect with you on LinkedIn. We know some of the same people. You take that and, put that back over here. We know some of the same people and seem to have similar interests. That's usually what I put. I actually put this into the user guide for everyone, so you can copy and paste it from there if you like. Just leave it to start searching connections from where you left off last time. If you're starting from the first time and you want to select this, that's fine. But basically, this is all you need to do. If you're concerned about the number that you're sending out, you can lower that. Don't go over 300 a day, though. I usually will do 200. And other than that, you just hit send. Now, what does genealogy mean? Well, what it means in this case is that it's your second connections. What that means is that it's everybody that is in your personal network, kind of like your friends on Facebook. It's their connections. So your first connections are the people that are directly associated with you that you can market to at will. Your second connections are everybody that they know. Now, what's very interesting on LinkedIn is that if you have, say, 100 connections, which is very easy to get in just a day or two, if you're starting from zero, then that translates to about 100,000 people on average in your second connections. It's just phenomenal, the number. And so if you have, say, 500 connections, which again is fairly easy to get just in a week or so, that translates to 500,000 people in your second connections. And so we can reach out to hundreds of people every day in our second connections and run it to multiple countries or keyword, and we can invite these people to join us in our personal network and build our list. And where is our list again? Well, our list is over here in the update contacts. And so as people join you, and you either come in and select update contacts after you've downloaded your initial ones that you already had, or what I do is I run the auto update for a couple hours every day after I do my invitation genealogy and any group invitations that I wanted to do and or messages into the groups. I'll come back, I'll run this auto update, And what it'll do is, as people join you, and they will join you constantly, then when the auto update runs, it will pull in their basic demographic information, but it will also send them out an automatic response message from this message master message here. Now, when you're doing this message master message, it's very important that you thank them for connecting with you, and that you kind of segue into what you're doing. All right, so I'll read you mine. It says, thank you for connecting on LinkedIn. I think what I'm currently doing will benefit you. It says, thank you for connecting with me. My company is currently in development of a next generation marketing technology for LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. I'd love to see what you think. So one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to just put a blatant ad in here, or you don't want to tell the person, hey, why don't you download this free software? Why would you not want to do that? Because people are really leery about downloading something from somebody they just met. Okay, that's just not a good idea in this day and age, because people are paranoid, and rightfully so, about viruses. So what you want to do is you want to just say, hey, thank you for connecting. I think that you may be interested in what I'm doing, and here's what I'm doing. Go to this website, check it out, and this is what I'm about. Put a couple sentences in there about what you're about, and you might also say, how do you think we could work together? That's a really good line to use. How do you think we could work together in the future? Because we seem to have similar interests. So that's what you want to do. Don't ask them to download anything immediately, and segue into what you're doing. You can communicate with them again later, and this is just kind of warming them up. Okay, so now when I say communicate with them later, I mean go to this tab right here, send to personal network. All right, the sending to the personal network. You can send to everybody or a portion of, if you want to run a search. So let's say you've got two type of customers, realtors and MLMers. You could put in a search for realtor if you just want to send to your realtors. Now, it doesn't work perfectly, but it works for the most part in here. So you select the account that you want to send to. You notice everybody's in here. If there's a couple people you don't want to send to, you can unselect them. And again, you can do a percent, first name, percent, okay, comma, space, and then you can send a marketing message to the people in your list. Now, when you first join, they get that message master message. They're gonna come back, and they're gonna start communicating with you. And as you go to your inbox, then you can set up some canned replies. You can copy and paste and send to them, and begin communicating in a fashion with these people. Or you can just type a regular personal message to them. But once a week or so, I suggest every 7 to 10 days, 3 or 4 times a month, come in here and send them a message and tell them, hey, this is what I'm working on. Or you can, just give them some free information that has to do with your market niche. Maybe something you saw in the news, or you could go grab from the news site. And then also, of course, you want to put marketing messages in here as well. All right, don't make everything a marketing message. Okay, make sure that you want to provide value to the people on your list. Okay, because if you just start pounding people with marketing messages, they're going to disconnect from you. So warm them up, thank them for communicating. Provide them some information about you, ask them how you can work together, and say, oh, by the way, this is what I'm doing, which has to also be your segue into your marketing message. That's what I've done, and you'll always have 1 or 2 people, that say, oh, don't market to me, how dare you? Those are the kind of people you want to go in and manually just pull out of your list anyway. Because they are they're the same kind of people that don't watch commercials on TV and get mad because something comes on a commercial and bothers their program. So as we know in the United States, marketing really makes the world go round, and you're not doing anything wrong. And don't ever think that you are. So don't apologize for marketing to somebody. If they're really irritated, which maybe 1% of the people will be, take them off your list and move on, because you can bring in thousands and thousands of people into your list and market to them over and over and over with this technology. Okay, so that's really the basis here is you come in, you set up, you download your groups, and then you begin marketing, but you do it properly. If you want to join groups, join more groups, or maybe you don't have any groups. Some people don't. Then come in here and put in any keyword that you can conceive of: MLM, network marketing, realtor. So I've got Christian here, marketing to a certain culture. I call them subcultures. Within our culture is a very good thing. You'll see Christian professionals worldwide. This one group, 51,000 people. So for those of you that are Christians that want to market to other Christians, this is a fantastic way to do it. There are 1.7 million groups on LinkedIn. You're never going to hit them all. You're never even going to scratch the surface hardly. Even if you set up several accounts and run this software on several computers, you're just not going to even scratch the surface. So don't even think about maxing out anything, even in your own market niche. By the time you ever got close, in a small market niche, there'll probably be 20 other groups to target. So don't worry about it. Just select whatever account you want, put in your search term, anything that you can conceive of, and just set it to 10, 15, 20. If you really want to be bold, you might go 30. But the top ones, the most popular ones, are going to come up top. And if you want to use this as it's normally used, you just select whichever one you want, or multiple ones, up to 6 per day. And it even says that down here, little directions on the different pages. And then all you have to do is just hit this Join Selected button, and it will send out that join request. Some groups will, accept you immediately. Some groups will never accept you. Generally speaking, 98% of the time you're going to get accepted within 24 hours. There's a few groups, like say the Consultants Network, or a few others out there that are extremely particular about who they want in their group. If you really want to get into a group and they haven't accepted you in 3 or 4 days, you can go to that group page, and generally on the right you'll see a way to message the group owner, and then you can plead your case with them. Works sometimes, usually it doesn't, but sometimes it does. So that's something that you can do. But in almost every case, 98% of the time, like I say, they're going to accept you, you're going to be in, everything's going to be fine. So you can have up to 50 groups on a free account. And generally speaking, this is what we do, is we utilize free accounts. If you want to do a paid account, that's fine. The software is programmed to work with paid accounts as well. Anyway, that is how you hit your target market, join your target market, send messages and invitations to your target market within the group, also within the genealogy. And that is, generally speaking, how you manage everything. I just want to, make you remember that as you're doing this message in here, in either the group messages or the genealogy, do not have more than 220 characters, and don't put in any salutations or links or anything like that. It's going to make the software not work, period. It will not pull in, it will not send the invitations and pull in the people to join you. In here, in the YouTube, basically, you put in your YouTube account from the Manage Accounts, and when you click on YouTube, it will default to your YouTube account. You won't even need to select this or even think about it, really. You just put in up to 500. You can slide this up to 500, and you set whatever you can conceive of here. You put in any search term, click search, and it will populate all of the usernames and information about these different videos. If you find one, let's say, that's written in a foreign language you don't want to send to, you can unselect it. You can unselect any of these that you don't want to send messages to. By and large, this is super simple, okay? You just put in your term, set it to whatever you want, hit the search, unselect any you don't want to send to, and then you put in a subject line and a message, and you hit send message. Now, normally, best practice is to do that at night, because it will take hours to send those messages. There's an automatic delay, and I'm going to just real quick, I'm going to go back up to the settings, go to the settings, okay. So in the settings, you'll see duration between each message on YouTube of 1 to 3 minutes. Okay, so it's going to make it kind of look like a human's doing it, and that's what all these delay times are. Is it will, the first one it'll go a minute, the next one it'll go say a minute and 30 seconds, next one it'll go 2 minutes, then maybe 2 minutes and 15, then maybe 1 minute and 15. It will vary between 1 and 3 minutes as it sends out. And you want to keep in mind that it's going to take hours to send those YouTube messages. That's really all you need to know about sending those messages. It goes to that person's Gmail account. Usually it will hit the inbox unless the person has their social inbox still set up, which most people don't, in their Gmail account. If they do, that's where it'll go. If they're a YouTube owner, they're probably watching that anyway, and so that's what happens there. A few more things about the settings here. We have these set really high: invitation message per day, genealogy, and groups. And this is just so that you won't have to mess with this if you've got multiple accounts. When you are done pulling in all your initial contacts, okay, then actually before you do that, you want to come here and you want to unselect send message to new user and contact update. Alright, so what is that about? Well, what this controls is the message master message. Now, if you're just beginning, okay, then, and you're updating your contacts, then you want to have this unselected, the send message to new user and contact update, because the people that you have in there, you might have 2,000-3,000 people, they already, theoretically know who you are. So you don't need to send them a message master message. Now, if there's nothing in the message master message, and you updated your contacts, nothing will be sent to them. They're not going to receive a blank email, so don't worry about that. But generally speaking, you want to come in here, you want to unselect that, so you're not, no message or anything is going to be sent until you're ready to send it. Okay, until you have a message master message filled out and you're happy with that message master message. Okay, so once you update your initial contacts, generally speaking, you would set up your message master message, and when you're happy with it, then you come here and send message to new user and contact update. That means when your contacts are updated, all right, by this auto update or the manual button in there, that it will send that message master message. If this is not selected, message master message will not be sent. Okay, show browser and processing window. If you want to see what's going on in the software as it's running, I don't like to have this selected. I don't leave this selected. But if you want to see what's going on, you can select this and you can kind of follow along with what's going on, what the software is doing, if you want. And if you're having issues, you may want to do that so you can see where it kind of like gets hung up. A lot of these others are self-explanatory. Duration between each account, that means if you have multiple accounts, it's going to pause 10 to 15 seconds before it logs in. Duration between each update, as it's bringing in updates, it's going to wait 15 to 20 minutes when you have the auto update on. So the auto update will run, and then it will, when it's done, it will try again in 15 to 20 minutes, so that any new people will get that message master message every 15 to 20 minutes. Duration between each invitation, as messages are sent out in the groups or invitations or invitation genealogy, it delays 60 to 80 seconds in between, so it looks more like a human is doing that. These are duration between each comment on YouTube if you want to do that. That's in the YouTube section again, and max updates in run hour. Max updates in one run per hour. That means it's not going to pull in when it's first updating your contacts more than 200 in an hour. We set that so that LinkedIn doesn't think that we have some robot running, because they watch the page views in your account. So that's what that's for, and 1,000 in a day is the same thing. As we go back to the update contacts, this is the different information that's pulled in. Generally speaking, you'll get name and email and all of those things. You can export all this data from a CSV, okay, so that you can export it into an autoresponder. I don't suggest that you do that unless you really, really want to. People can become sensitive about being sent emails unless, they become real familiar with who you are. So you want to really warm them up for a while, maybe send to them for at least a month before you would ever want to export them. They need to know your name, in other words. And the email address that it comes from should have your name in it, by the way. And then lastly, we have a system here that exports this data. Like, let's say that a month after you've got this running and everything, and you've got thousands of contacts in here, and you want to upgrade to a new computer. Well, you don't want to have to re-download all that stuff. So what you do is you just come here and you click on the export tab here, and then you can, wherever it is that you want to put that the file of your connections, you find that, navigate to it, and click OK. And it will put a file of all of these contacts that you can come back when you on your new computer. Okay, you can move that file after you install it on your new computer. You come here and you move that file and you import it, that same file. And when you export it, you'll see the file name that's produced. Okay, and that's for your connections. Now, if you have multiple accounts, when you come back in your next computer, you can import that file, and you'll see the file name when you export it. And this will do all of your contacts. If you have multiple accounts, then you'll need to do multiple exports. You just select the next account, and you'll see that that changed this here, and then you would export that file as well. We also have the import-export users here. Now this is different. What this is this is all of the user IDs for all of your accounts. Okay, you only need to export one file for all of your accounts, and this is all of the user IDs that you have sent to with any accounts and any groups throughout the entire time that you've used this. This is the same as that cache that I was talking about back here in the invitation messages group. Back here where it remembers all of the user IDs, okay, that is what is exported here in the import-export users. So when you're on the import-export users, you just export all. It'll put that file wherever you want it on your computer. Okay, you select where to put it, and then you need to remember that wherever it is on your computer, you need to grab that when you install it on your next computer. You can rename the files or whatever, but just know that this is all those user IDs that you have sent to, which is very important to keep. which is different than back at the update contacts. The import-export users, just one file for all of your accounts or groups throughout the whole time you've been there. But this, in the update contacts, is for each particular account, each upload. So when you change computers, or if you want to move your system onto a computer while you're on a different computer while you're on vacation, not a problem. You can let me know if you don't have a lifetime agreement with us, which allows you to have 2 copies. Then you would only have 1 copy. You would just simply send me a different code and then move it as I just showed you, and then you can move it back when you get back from vacation. It may sound kind of complex, but it's actually very simple, very easy. So that's how to use the system. Those are some of the basic things that you would run into, when you're using it. Issues like making sure that you don't have more than 220 characters inside this message, for instance, and the same with the invitation messages group. Make sure that you're when you're sending messages, you've clicked send message and there's a subject line here. When you're sending invitations, make sure that you've selected send invitations and there's no subject line here. And then, of course, being mindful of the numbers that you're sending out. This is the basic information on how to run the software. There's a little bit more in the guide, and that's why we have the guide. But by and large, that is everything, and I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the software. We have hundreds of users that are very happy with it, and if used right, you can build tens of thousands in your list and completely dominate your market. So thank you for watching, and there you go.